Geeks with Beards. Podcast.
They got hit by cosmic rays, and the forward change forever. It's the most fantastic way. No need to fear, they're here. Just on the floor. Fantastic Four. Don't need no more. That's ungrammatical. Richards is elastic. Sue can take from side. Johnny is the human torch. The thing just loves to fight. All for more. Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of the Geeks with Beards podcast. I'm Dan. I'm with Sean, and today's episode, in celebration of the new Fantastic Four movie that came out a couple of weeks back, or maybe a little bit longer now, I can't remember. We're going to cover Fantastic Four #1 from 1961 by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. But before we jump into that, what's been going on, man, since our last episode?
I had 2 shows this past weekend.
Hell yeah, man. I saw some pictures of them. They look great. I love I guess maybe it was your last one you went to. Was it like an outdoor
It was, yeah.
stage? Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, dude. That looked awesome looking, man.
Yeah, it was fun. It was raining, but we still had people doing a mosh pit in the rain. That was cool.
And the stage itself, now, it had like a cover over, like a roof over it, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, the stage was covered.
Yeah.
And people had tents outside. It was in Bristol.
Okay.
And then the Knoxville show was amazing. The crowd was louder than us.
Dude, hell yeah, man.
So that was awesome.
Now, how is that when you're playing and they're louder than you? Is it hard for you to hear yourselves still? I mean, I understand it's loud, but I mean...
Well, you more notice where our equipment's so loud anyway. You more notice like when the music stops and then they start cheering. It's like, whoa. I haven't looked at Jeremiah. I'm like, man, whoa.
You're just like, damn, it's like the sound is fighting itself. You got sound from the floor and your sound coming back at it like that.
The venue's probably smaller than the room we recorded.
Wow, really? Mm-hmm. Damn, dude. Yeah. So like the echo effect or something.
Well, they got like sound treated and stuff, but
right.
It's just tight.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
I've been doing that, and then when I get a minute, I've been playing Forza for some unknown reason.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah, dude.
But what have you been up to?
Well, I got some new comics, but I ain't read none of them yet. As of this recording, I just got them 2 days ago, Monday. I hadn't read them yet. I finally finished reading The World of Smallville, from John Byrne from 1987, I believe it was. It's a 4-issue miniseries. It's part of his whole redoing of Superman's origin after the Crisis on Infinite Earths. And it was cool about this one because this one basically tells the story of Martha and Jonathan Kent, and you find out that he was not her first husband. That actually she had married another man in Smallville, a very rich man.
Lionel Luthor.
No, his last name was Fordman. I forgot his first name, unfortunately. And basically what it was is John was in World War II, and he was considered missing in action. So everybody kind of assumed the worst. And she had, as they say, she had pined for him for a long time. And I guess she just, I don't know, decided to go with somebody else, I guess, because, he was gone or whatever. And then he comes back from World War II. And it's funny because they're telling Clark this. And Clark's like, what? I never knew any of this. Why didn't you tell me this? And just like, well, we didn't want to upset you. So they're telling Clark the whole story and everything. And then it kind of takes a twist after all that situation happens. Then there's a little bit of a story about Lana that the Manhunters, who, if nobody knows the Manhunters, they were the creations of the Guardians of the Universe before the Green Lanterns. They're like robots. Well, the Manhunters, you find out, according to at this moment in comic books, that they had actually been watching Krypton, and they were going to intercept Kal-El's ship, but got stopped by the Green Lanterns. And so they had made their way to Smallville, a small group of them, and had taken over Lana and a few other people, took over their minds and mind controlled them to keep an eye on Clark and to monitor his progress and see what powers he might get or what might happen to him. And so all that was going on. Superman basically takes care of that situation as far as rescuing her from the Manhunter and stuff, but you find out that he didn't completely stop them because they actually had taken mind control of most of the children in Smallville to still kind of keep an eye out and stuff like that. And apparently that story doesn't get resolved until like another miniseries later on down the line, something called Millennium, I think it's called, that DC did. Because it just leaves it basically on a cliffhanger. It's like, oh yeah, Lana got rescued, but the kids of Smallville still were mind controlled by the Manhunters. I'm like, Superman didn't do anything about that? And then I looked it online, I was like, oh, they do that thing in the Millennium miniseries or whatever. I'm like, okay, I might read that. I might read that one of these days. I don't know. So the only one I've got left to do now is the World of Metropolis.
Okay.
Which kind of gives you the world, John Byrne's reinterpretation of Metropolis and all those characters. I went to an Alice Cooper concert.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people went to that.
Yeah, August 20th, as of this recording, that was last Wednesday. I went to Alice Cooper concert in Knoxville, the Tennessee Theater. My very first ever time going there, first ever Alice Cooper concert. I loved it.
That place is cool.
I loved it.
Sounds
Oh,
good.
God, it's so beautiful. Mm-hmm. I shared some pictures on our Facebook and everything. It's a beautiful place. He played, pretty well mostly known songs that everybody knows from the radio and stuff. I was super happy that he played Man Behind the Mask from Friday the 13th Part 6.
Whoa.
I'm like, yes! He even had a dude dressed up like Jason come out there and slit somebody's throat on stage and everything. I was like, hell yeah, dude.
That's cool.
And I guested on a podcast before that, last Monday, on the Flicks and Friends podcast, and we talked about 1986's Highlander, starring Christopher Lambert and Clancy Brown. That was awesome. I love the Highlander franchise. It's crazy, but I love it, man. And, yeah, that's been about it, man. Since last episode.
That's pretty cool.
Hell yeah, dude. So, without further ado, we're going to jump into this, and then after we talk about it, we'll talk about our histories a little bit, because I have zero history with Fantastic Four comic books at all.
Well, I got a fun fact for this comic before you start.
Oh, yeah, man, go for it.
Way back, we talked about Jack Kirby and Stan Lee's history.
We did.
I believe it was for X-Men #1?
It was. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, in that, I talked about how Stan Lee wanted to start he wanted to be more creative, and he wanted to do a comic his way, because they wouldn't let him. Well, he's getting ready to quit, and and before he quit, his wife told him, like, just write a comic your way, and then if they don't like it, you're quitting anyway.
Yeah.
This is that comic.
Oh.
And this is considered the first Marvel comic.
Really?
Yeah. So there you go.
Interesting.
That's the setup for you.
All right, man. Hell yeah.
Exposure to a high-energy cosmic storm could advance our knowledge about planetary life.
To our future.
I don't trust him.
We got what we wanted.
Just worried about what he wants.
Biophysical structure is changing.
It's terrible news.
I think I'll get a second opinion.
The cloud has fundamentally altered our DNA. That's gross.
Reed, look at me.
I can't. He's heating up from his core.
You don't want to walk around on fire for the rest of your life, do you?
Is that a trick question? Come on, am I the only guy who thinks this is cool? What if we got these powers for a reason?
I've always wanted power.
Victor, you always thought you were a god.
Let's not fight.
No. Let's. Don't
even think about it.
Never do.
Flamer!
Oh, you're hot.
Why, thank you. So are you.
So yeah, Fantastic Four #1, 1961 by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. And we open with a splash page saying Fantastic Four in like a big cloud of smoke or whatever in the sky in big bold red letters. And the people on the streets, they're looking up and they're just like, what the hell? What's Fantastic Four? What is this about? What's going on? And we see that this shadowy figure in a window of a building, and he's got like this flare gun, smoke gun, whatever it is, and we see that he's the one that shot the cloud out into the sky. And we will soon discover that it is Reed Richards, but at the moment the readers don't know this. And we cut to a very pretty blonde lady, a very looks to be very high society kind of place that she's at, like a friend's house, it says. And this is Susan Storm. And she's having tea with a society friend. And then her friend looks out the window and she sees the signal. That's what I'm going to call it, the signal, the cloud. And she's like, what does these words mean? Fantastic Four, what does these words mean? And automatically, boom, Sue goes invisible. And she just basically bursts right out her friend's apartment's door. And her friend's like, Sue, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Sue? And before she leaves, she's saying to herself, she's like, it's time that the world meets the invisible girl. I'm like, so when did you become Invisible Woman? I was like, she has not yet become a lady, or excuse me, not yet become a woman yet. She's Invisible Girl. So she runs out the apartment. I thought this was really funny. She jumps into a cab. It's an empty cab. And she gets a ride to the location where Reed is at. And the cab driver's driving around. He's like, yeah, it's kind of slow today. He's like, I'm just going to drive around so I can find a fare or whatever. So they get close to where Sue needs to go. And she's like, here you go. And you just see like a floating, dollar bill or whatever it is, in the air. And the cab driver's just looking around. He's like, wait, what? Mm-hmm. Dude, he just turns like, they draw him like he just turns like red-faced or whatever. He is scared. He's like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? She's like, I'll get out here. I'm good. She gets out, dude. He just zooms away. He's just scared. I don't know if he even takes his money. He just runs away, man. And then we go to, a gentleman's store, for clothing. And we see this big figure. He's in a trench coat and a hat. And I think he's got like sunglasses or goggles on. I think it is. And he's trying to buy some clothes. So the store associate's like, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have anything to fit you. You're quite a large man. And the figure's like, that's how it always goes. Everywhere I go, ain't nothing fit me because I'm too big. I'm too big. I can't wear this. I can't wear that. And then the associate sees the signal in the air, just like Sue's friend did. And then all of a sudden, boom. The figure rips off the trench coat, takes the hat off, stuff like that, and the associate says, look, I done told you we don't have anything that'll fit you. There's no need in taking your coat off. I don't have anything that'll fit you. And who is it? But the Thing. And I love the way, and I'm going to go ahead and mention this now. We don't really get to see it till a little bit later. You see the Thing, and to me, dude, he looks a lot, the 2000s movie got that look pretty close to what I saw in this book right here.
They really did.
Like, he doesn't really have, like, the foreboding brow yet. I don't know, I guess Kirby hadn't give that to him just yet. Because there's one scene later in the comic where you see his face where he's actually changing to the Thing. And I'm like, damn, that looks just like the 2000s movie Thing makeup. Like, okay, alright, cool. So yeah, it's the Thing. And, he bursts out the door. And he's like, man, why do these doors have to be so small? I'm like, dude. You're like 3 times as wide as the door opening is. I was like, you got in here without breaking it, but you can't get out without breaking it.
That's Stan Lee logic right there.
Right? Well, I get it. he was peaceful and calm coming in, but he had to hurry up and get out of there when he saw the signal.
So he just becomes the Hulk.
He just, so he bursts out of the store. And of course people are afraid. They don't know what it is. They think he's somebody says it's a Martian. No, he's not a Martian. And they're just scared, and the police start shooting at him. Well, he just rips a manhole off the street, and he jumps down into the sewers. And, he's going through the sewers, and again, they're all converging on Reed's location. And so he's in the sewers. He keeps going through the sewer pipes for a little while. And he kind of thinks to himself, and he looks up, he's like, I think I'm about where I need to be. And he's like, oh crap. He's like, there's no manhole for me to get out of. Well, I just have to make my own exit. And he just leaps up and busts right through the street. Just makes a big old hole right into the street. And he gets hit by a car driven by two guys. And he kind of gets a little mad. He's like, hey, you hit me. I'm like, dude, you just jumped right out in front of them.
Right.
What were they supposed to do? They can't stop when you just automatically jump right in front of them. And that's where one of the drivers says, oh my God, it's a Martian. Run away, run away. I'm like, no, he's not a Martian, but I get it. And so he runs off, going to Reed's location. And but again, it's really cool, though. I just love the way that Kirby had drawn him.
This art is fantastic.
It is, man. It's so good, so good. And I like, too, because I don't remember in other interpretations, because, again, I've never read a Fantastic Four comic. Reed has already got the gray here on the side of his head. I don't know if other versions, if he already had it, or if it was a result of the cosmic rays giving him the gray. I don't remember.
Every book I've read, he's had it.
He's already had the gray. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So then we see that later that the police riot squad show up to a danger call. I'm guessing because of the thing, I guess. And they're all just looking around. It's like, well, there's nothing here. There's nothing going on. What was the call for? And one of the cops was like, I don't know. He's like, I've been hearing some weird things going around. Excuse me. He said, a woman turning invisible, a giant Martian creature running around. He's like, what is going on in Central City? I'm like, wait a minute. No. Central City's the home of the Flash. What are you doing, Marvel? I thought you guys were in New York City. But I thought that was funny. But so after that, we go to a garage or a service station, as they call it, and we're introduced to Johnny Storm. And I guess he works there as a mechanic, is what I took from it.
Yeah, he's an early teenager.
Yeah, I'm guessing, what, 16?
Yeah,
something
16,
like
18, somewhere like that.
So he's at a service station, working with another gentleman, which we never get this guy's name, but they seem like they're pretty good friends because they're talking, just normal conversations and everything. And they're working on like a really cool, like looking roadster looking car. And again, the guy that's working with him, he looks out the window or whatever, and he sees now, instead of saying Fantastic Four, it's just a big number 4 in red in the cloud in the sky now. And the guy looks up and he's like, what does that mean? He's like, hey, Johnny, look at that big red 4 in the sky. He's like, what does that mean? And before that happened, Johnny said, you know what I love more than working on cars? And the guy says, what, Johnny? He said, what do you love more than working on cars? Well, this happens. And Johnny becomes the Human Torch. Now, I don't want to complain because it's Kirby's artwork, but I will say that to me, this look, I know it's the very first time, I guess, he just barely looks humanoid. Human Torch to me. You can see his arms and his legs and stuff, but there's like, no, I guess maybe Kirby couldn't work it out yet. I don't know, but like there was no like facial features, nothing. It's like he's just fire. Almost like a fire stick man, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
Still looks great though. The way he drew the fire and the different levels of it and the colors and stuff look great. So Johnny becomes the Human Torch, and he melts the car. He melts it down to nothing, and he flies out. And he's like, hey, remember when I said there's one other thing that I love more than working on cars? It's this. I'm like, what? Turning into Human Torch or being a hero? I said, which one? Which one, Johnny? So he flies away, and then we cut to the mayor of Central City, who he calls in the National Guard to help with the situation that's going on, a flaming object attack of the city. So they think that Johnny is, I guess, some kind of alien or some kind of monster or whatever, and he's trying to attack the city. So they call in the National Guard, and the jets start taking off from an airbase. And they come to Johnny, and Johnny hollers at him. He warns him, he's like, dude, don't get close to me. Just stay away. Don't come close. I'm not a threat. Don't, But of course they don't listen. And apparently, I guess, as of this moment, just getting close to Johnny, it's like you'll melt. At least these jets do.
Well, that makes sense with as hot as he's burning.
Yeah, like they just start melting. And he's like, man, I told you. And they started melting, but he looks down and he can see that the pilots have safely ejected and parachuted down. He's like, oh, okay. I'm sitting there thinking, Johnny, don't get close to him. You'll set their parachutes on fire, man. I said, don't get close to him. So he flies away. But unfortunately, in the process, one of the jets, or from the base one, it doesn't necessarily say, a Hunter missile with a nuclear warhead is launched at him. And I'm guessing it's heat-seeking, because it follows him pretty much the whole way through the city. And he's like, oh no. He's like, if this thing hits me, he's like, I'm a goner. I'm like, yeah, you and probably most of the city. It's got a nuclear warhead on it. So he's flying through the city trying to get away from the missile. And it says that his flame starts to go out. I was confused if he was doing it himself to try to get away from the missile, or if he just got wore out or tired, maybe. I don't know. It just said his flame started to sputter out, and it does show that he actually does deflame. That's how I'm going to say it. He deflames and becomes normal Johnny again.
So he's probably got like a limited amount of time.
That's what I was thinking.
At least here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It didn't say. But then you see as he's returning to normal and he's starting to fall from the sky, these big long arms and hands reach up. And they grab the Hunter missile, and they toss it into the water. And it explodes. And it's that trope of, hey, we'll throw a missile or a bomb in the water, it's explode, it's fine.
It's fine.
Don't worry about the radiation. You can't fish or swim there for 100 years, but it's okay.
Don't eat the shrimp.
Yeah, exactly. Don't eat the shrimp. It's fine. It's fine. So, and then after that, which we know who it is, but at the moment we don't. The person says, Johnny, grab onto me. And it's Reed Richards. And, of course, his elongated powers where he can stretch his arms and everything, and he catches Johnny and, carries him inside the building. And they're all met up inside this building now because where Reed had sent the signal. We've got Visible Girl, we've got The Thing, we've got Human Torch, and we got Mr. Fantastic all meeting up together. And he's like, I'm so happy. He's like, you guys got the signal. He said, there's a fearful task that awaits us. ... Mm-hmm. But wait. Before we go to that fearful task, the book says, let's turn the clock back to the beginning and see how all this happened to these four people. So we go back. It doesn't give you an exact time how far back it's been since they got their powers, but you assume months or something. Maybe I'm not.
Yeah, I figure maybe less than a year.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, something like that. So we jump back in time a little bit, and boom, he just throws you right into it. They're talking about investigating the cosmic rays in space, and Reed want to take a rocket ship up in there and test it. Well, Ben is mad as hell.
I find it neat that Reed Richards built this rocket.
Yeah.
So it's not like a NASA rocket, like,
it's all him, apparently. Yeah. And Ben is mad. Ben's giving him...
He's pissed.
Dude, he's giving him the shit, man. He's like, look, Reed, he's like, we have not studied these cosmic rays enough to risk our lives to go up in your rocket ship to see what's going, to see what they are. He's like, we can't do that. And... he says, if you want to do it, he says, you find somebody else to fly it. I ain't doing it. And then Sue, because Sue and Johnny's there with him, and Sue comes at him, and she's like, Ben, she's like, I can't believe you would not help Reed study these cosmic rays, and that you would let the commies get there first. And granted, people, this is 1961, so commies was still used. if you're going to get aggravated about that, that's how it's written. And then she goes and calls Ben a she's like, I can't believe you'd be a coward. Mm-hmm. And Ben's like, I ain't no coward. And he like smashes a table. And he's like, fine. He's like, I'll fly your ship up into space. And he said, we'll go investigate those comic rays no matter what. And Johnny and Sue are going to go with him. But now in this one here, the way that they say it is that Ben and Reed are like really the only scientists. That Johnny and Sue are not.
Yeah, that's the way it was reading, but I don't know.
Yeah, because they say basically, because they want to go up with him, and it's either Ben or Reed one. They're like, well, we're the only two that are like scientists or whatever. You guys don't need to go. It's not safe for just regular people to go, civilians to go. And they're like, no, we're going. And then they all just go. So I'm like, okay. So we see all 4 of them. They go to the airfield or the space station or whatever, where the rocket is. They sneak in. And, well, I won't say sneak in, but it kind of feels like they do in a way, because like they go in behind the guards' backs. Like, the guards don't recognize them. It's like it's Reed's ship, like you said, but I feel like they didn't have permission to take it. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe they had to wait for like certain launch days or something,
Or like Ben said, they hadn't studied it enough, so maybe they were not allowing them to go until they for sure knew what was going to happen, I guess.
That makes sense, yeah.
So they get onto the rocket ship, all 4 of them do, and they launch it, and they go into space. And automatically, boom, as soon as they get out of Earth's orbit, it's not too far out, we see the cosmic rays, the cosmic light rays, I think Ben calls it, start bombarding the ship. And Johnny's like, I don't see any difference in me. I don't see anything. And Ben basically says, well, you're not going to its light rays. You're not going to see a difference, but something still might happen to us. He said, he's like, we should have waited and we should have got stronger shielding on our rocket. Our shielding's not that strong. So the light rays start penetrating the rocket, and they start hitting all 4 people. And Johnny does start to feel a little weird. He starts getting a little hot. Starts feeling a little hot. And then Ben starts saying that somebody else is going to have to fly this shuttle. He says, my arms are too heavy. He's like, I can't even lift my arms. And basically, like, he just falls to the floor. Like, he is pinned to the floor by the weight of his arms and his body. Like, he cannot move. It's like, just like super gravity just grabbed him. And so luckily, I don't know who done it, if it's an auto, if it done it by itself or what, but the autopilot kicks in, and the autopilot lands them on Earth. And I like how it says here, it says it lands them on Earth in a rough but non-fatal landing.
You're right.
It's like, we'll bruise you a little bit, but you'll live. We won't kill you. So they all get out of the rocket, and they look normal, and they ponder kind of what did the cosmic rays do to them. And all of a sudden, Sue starts to go invisible. And she starts screaming. She's like, oh my God. She's like, what's happening, Reed? I'm fading away. What's going to happen to me? I don't understand. And they're all panicking, not knowing what's happening. Of course, Johnny's panicking. What's happened to my sister and everything. But just moments later, she becomes visible again. And here goes, and then Reed goes over to her, and he's like, it's okay. He's like, you're fine. You're okay. Don't worry. Don't be upset. And Ben comes up to him, and he's mad again. He's like, how can you say that she's all right? How can you say that any of us are all right? We do not have any clue what these cosmic rays did to us. Look what happened to Sue just now. She became invisible. How can you say that she's okay? And Reed turns around, and Reed tells him, look, he's like, I am sick and tired of your negativity. I'm sick and tired of you coming at me all the time, questioning me. And basically it's like, come at me, bro. We're going to fight, And, while they're arguing, Ben changes into the Thing. We see it, how he transitions. And this is where I said that his face looks like Michael Chiklis' version of the Thing from the 2000s movies. Yeah. I thought it did. And, they're like, Ben, oh my God, what's happening to you? You're changing. Of course, Ben doesn't listen. He's just too mad. And he grabs a tree, rips a tree out of the ground, swings it at Reed, tries to hit Reed. Of course, Reed gets out of the way, and then Reed has got his elongated powers, so he starts wrapping Ben up and kind of just holding him tight, like basically telling him, stop this. We gotta, quit trying to fight me, quit trying to swing at me with a tree trunk, He's like, stop it. And, but then Reed stops and he's like, what's happening to us? He's like, why are we fighting each other like this? It's like, we need to come together and figure out what's going on. And then Johnny, he realizes that when he gets excited, that he starts to change into the Human Torch. He starts to flame on, basically. And he becomes a Human Torch. He's flying around, and they're kind of out like in this field, like it crash landed them out in the field or in the wooded area. So he's flying around everywhere. Excuse me. And, unfortunately catches like a little section of it on fire. But, it says in the book, moments later, all 4 of them watch the fire eventually go away. So luckily it doesn't like catch the whole woods on fire. It just dies off by itself. And Reed tells everybody, he's like, we've got more power than any human being has ever had. And Ben kind of just jumps in. He's like, let me guess what you're going to say. We need to use this power to help humankind. And Reed's like, well, yeah. It's like, what else would we do with it? You know, we've got to use our abilities to help people. And he said, then they all put their hands together, you know, like you see on TV when teammates put their hands on top of each other. And this is where they give themselves their names. Johnny says, he's like, I'm the Human Torch and the Invisible Girl. And Ben's like, well, he's like, Sue called me the Thing or a Thing. He said, so that'll be my name, Thing. And Reed's like, and I'll call myself Mr. Fantastic. I'm like, you pompous, man. Mr. Fantastic. And, then it stops. At the end of the thing, it says, so was born the Fantastic Four. From that moment on, the world would never be the same. And now this book has, I think, was it like 3 stories?
Yes.
But basically it's the same story, but they broke it up into 3 parts. And we only read the first part, their origin. The fearful task that Reed is talking about is continued in the next one, and it's Mole Man. So Mole Man was their very first supervillain that they ever fought in the comic books. So, and that's the end of that. That's the end of the origin for Fantastic Four. Short and sweet. But being somebody has never read it before, I liked it.
It was good.
I did. I really enjoyed it. Of course, Kirby's artwork, you can't go wrong with Kirby's artwork whatsoever.
And the reason they did this book, like, they asked Stan Lee to write a team book. Mm-hmm. And then that's when he decided he's going to do it his way. He said he didn't want them to have costumes ever. So you notice in the book, in this issue, they don't have comics.
No, they're just wearing
costumes.
Yeah, Ben just got bloomers on, basically. Or swim trunks, I guess you want to call it, or whatever. Yeah. That's all he's got on. Looks like he's the Thing.
It looks like he shit his britches.
Yeah, they weren't blue. They weren't blue, no. But yeah, they're just wearing regular street clothes, basically, yeah.
Yeah, and he wanted to keep it that way.
Okay.
He modeled Mr. Fantastic after him, so it's funny that you say he's
a little bit pompous.
Yeah. He wanted Sue to be an actual person of the team, not just a damsel in distress. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing kind of giving, not Wonder Woman vibes, but that kind of mentality, you know?
Yeah, I get that, yeah.
He wanted Ben and Johnny to be like the comedy duo of the team.
Which carries on later into the films and stuff, so yeah.
You know, almost like a buddy cop type.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. This was in response to the Justice League book. It just came out and it was doing really well.
Okay.
So Stan Lee was like, all right, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to put this out. Well, it comes back. Everybody loves it. But then they start getting fan mail, which they really never got before.
Okay.
And everybody's like, we want costumes. And he's like, fine.
I get that. I mean, it's kind of hard to do a superhero comic book, and not have costumes. It's kind of just expected.
Especially when you got Jack Kirby drawing it. It's like, come on.
It's like, come on, Stan.
I believe this came out at the end of 61, so it was, 2 years before X-Men, and a year before Iron Man, and all that stuff, so this really set it off.
And what do you think of basically the simplicity of the costume, just blue and white?
I like it.
Yeah.
It fits them.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's pretty cool. I like it. And I like too in this one here where they're basically just wearing like regular clothes or whatever, which granted they are wearing like space suits or whatever at the end here. But it's just one of those things that's not even mentioned. Johnny just flames on, flames off. His clothes are fine. His clothes are fine or whatever.
I mean, they're going on, 60 years now? No, more than that.
More than that, yeah.
So, whatever, how many years, and it's basically almost the same?
Yeah. Again, I've never read anything, so I don't know throughout their history from 61 till now if anything is slightly changed. I'm assuming there's a little bit of origin change. Possibly. There always is. I mean, we've talked so much Superman in the past few episodes, you know, and from 38, to 85 was an origin, 86 to 2003 was an origin, and then so on and so forth. But they always usually try to keep the key things about their origin story. So Fantastic Four, I would assume, is not changed much, but something might have been added, something might have been retracted maybe. But basically it's the same thing. Cosmic rays gave them their powers, and, you know.
And like Reed Richards and Sue Storm were already engaged in this. So.
Yeah.
I mean, they already established that. And
I think I felt a little jealousy from Ben. I felt like maybe he had some feelings towards Sue at one time.
he called her
maybe.
sis. I was like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But it was the time frame, too.
It's
so.
true. Yeah, true, yeah. And I guess it did, again, later on, I'm sure it may talk more about their personal lives, but it did say that she was visiting a society friend, and I made the comment of we're kind of upper class. I'm assuming maybe they were kind of wealthy family, I guess.
Yeah, he wanted to put them up on the Upper East Side because he said he's like, DC's got Metropolis, they got Gotham City. He's like, I want this to be real and make you believe it's real, so that's why he dropped everybody into New York City.
Okay.
He's like, I can write about New York, I know it.
Even though they called it Central City, but...
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either, yeah. But, yeah, dude, I loved it. I definitely highly recommend it. This was a reprint that you picked up, actually.
Yeah, this, I picked this reprint up off mycomicshop.com for like $5 plus shipping.
Oh,
now, if you want the original...
We all know how much blood you're going to have to give for that.
Okay, I'll just give you a couple grades. And these are all graded because that's how you're going to find them. A 2.5 is 11,400. And then the highest one they got is a 7.0, and that's 66,495.
Ooh, doggy.
So
go for the reprint.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be like Spider-Man money, but...
No, and like I said before... that's what I love about the companies doing these reprints. Now, granted, they're not going to reprint everything that's out there that you want, but at least they have reprinted some of the things, And
they should key issues. I mean, it doesn't deter the value of the originals. People are still going to buy them.
I think, if anything, it definitely would increase interest and possible value of the original printings because you're getting new readers and people that cannot afford the originals, or people that can and maybe never thought about it. They get these reprints, read it, and like, damn, I really want to own the original printing of this. Yeah. And they go out there and scour the places, and they do put the money down for an original print. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think if anything, it helps interest in the original printings of a comic book. I think when they do reprints like this,
I would agree with that.
And plus it helps the fandom who can't afford it be able to read something like that. If they don't want to read it online, like I said, I'm more of a physical person. I prefer to own the physical copy, but like I said about the Iron Man, the Wonder Woman, the Spider-Man, this. If I was big on the first appearance, stuff like that, this is how you go it.
Yeah.
Reissue. Yeah. That's how you do it, man.
At least get them in your collection and be able to actually read them.
Yeah. Because as far as I know from everything where we read these and researched them and stuff, it's basically word by word reprint. There's nothing been changed.
Even the ads are the same.
Ads are exactly the same. So you're not getting any changes made for the new prints. They're exactly reprinting them word for word as far as I know. Only thing different is, of course, it's going to have, the new dates on it, so you know the difference. Yeah. So you know the difference. But other than that, it's word for word, panel for panel reprints of the original. So definitely pick it up if you can at all. $5, shoot.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 or 3 of them.
Well, and this reprint was just reprinted this year, so.
Because of the film coming out?
Yeah. I would assume so.
Yeah.
Which, I haven't seen the movie, have you?
No, I haven't. I'll probably just wait for it to stream, honestly. I haven't. But I've heard really good, positive to mixed reviews for it. Nothing really negative about it at all.
It looked good from the trailer.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard about Bad Movies, Worst People?
Heard about it. I'm on it.
Are you?
I'm on it too.
Where can I hear it?
Anywhere you get podcasts. You can get Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube.
Videos on YouTube.
I hear they have videos on Patreon as well, and ad-free.
There's 2 different tiers, just like when I cry.
The inner and the outer.
It's Bad Movies, Worst People. We take a movie that could be considered bad for whatever reason, use it as a jumping off point to make inappropriate jokes and have conversations that have almost nothing to do with the movie, and then at the end we decide whether or not we like it. If you want to laugh and you like bad movies, come check us out, because we usually like them too.
I hope you like bad impersonations and accents, that is.
The best thing I love about them is they deliver every Monday. They don't take breaks.
We release an episode every single Monday, plus 2 Patreon episodes a month, plus an episode every Friday the 13th, and more and more and more and more.
Knitting, knitting, knitting. Podcasty.
All right, so before we get the questions and comments, our girl Autumn has sent us a Fantastic Four Villains ranking.
Oh, I'd love to hear this because, again, I know very little.
So let's give this a listen.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
Hey, it's Autumn. I have today. I've got a little countdown here. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do for y'all's Fantastic Four episode. Since y'all covered Fantastic Four #1, I've been rereading a lot of Lee and Kirby Fantastic Four. I in the past had read up to about issue, I think, 120 or so with that. So I've read just about every FF issue that Jack Kirby and Stan Lee did together, but I just recently have read back through the first, I'm going to say about 40 issues. I got to right before when like the Inhumans showed up, and I thought it might be fun to do a little countdown. I'm going to be ranking the first 10 villains the Fantastic Four ever fought in the comics. This covers the events up from issue 1 to issue 18. And I'm going to rank the first 10 villains. The only two I don't count, I know if you read the first annual, I know it lists one of the villains as the Skrulls. I figured the Skrulls are like a people, not really like a villain, like one guy, but so I don't count the Skrulls. And also in issue 12, they fight the Hulk. And the Hulk is kind of like an anti-hero. But at the time, he was presented as a hero, and it was more just like a crossover. So I don't count the Hulk, and I don't count the Skrulls. But everything else is on the table. So with that, this is my ranking from worst to best of the first 10 villains the Fantastic Four ever fought in the comics. Okay, so number 10, I say, is the Miracle Man, who they fought in issue 10, or issue 3. The Miracle Man was a villain. You could tell they kind of wanted the Miracle Man to kind of take off and be one of the bigger villains, I think, but he may have just not done well. He was like a hypnotist he was a magician, and the Fantastic Four couldn't figure him out. And then at the end, the big twist was that he was a hypnotist, and nothing that he was making happen was real, but he makes, just different, just wild stuff happen. And he was alright. He was a cool villain. He's kind of nothing special. He's not one of Lee and Kirby's cooler villains, but he was alright. I enjoyed that. He was first in issue 3. I don't think I've ever read another issue with the Miracle Man, so I don't know if he ever came back or not. That issue is more key for being the first appearance of the Fantastic Car. But number 9, we have Kurgo from Planet X. He was in issue 7 of the Fantastic Four. Kurgo is just like a throwaway sci-fi villain. He was just a general Lee and Kirby alien. The whole thing involved the world starts hating the Fantastic Four, and you learn it's because of Kurgo, who's a big onion-headed looking alien, and he's trying to get Reed Richards and all to find a way to get him off of his dying planet with all of his people. And he's just kind of a throwaway alien villain. He's cool. I don't think he's impressive, but he's pretty cool. I enjoyed that, but I really like a lot of the older, like, Marvel sci-fi and stuff, and just a lot of old, like, 50s and 60s sci-fi in general. And then, number 8 is the Mad Thinker. I know the Mad Thinker is a pretty iconic Fantastic Four villain. Ranking him just as he was here, which in his first appearance was number 15 there. Ranking him just as he was there, I think Mad Thinker's one of their weaker villains, because, like, his whole power is that he can guess everything with his computer and all that, but, like, at the time, he was always wrong, so it kind of made his power kind of off. It just made him a real smart guy and kind of didn't really give him the power that he was supposed to have, so that's why I think he did get cooler later in the comics, but the Mad Thinker as he was in his first appearance in number 15, I think the android that he used to fight the Fantastic Four, that Reed Richards, was much cooler than the Mad Thinker himself. But, for what he was pretty cool. And then number 7, I say the Mole Man. He was in issue 1, which y'all covered on this episode. The Mole Man is he's iconic. He's cool. I know in this era, he fought the Fantastic Four a few times. Like he was in issue 1, and then like he came back like 20, 30 issues later a couple times. And I know he's more known as a Fantastic Four villain, but I know in the 60s he seemed to contend more with the Avengers than he did with the Fantastic Four. But in his first appearance, he was really cool. I really liked all the monsters he uses on Monster Island and stuff. I think that was all really cool. The Mole Man's a neat villain. I enjoy the Mole Man. He's always been a really cool villain, so I think the Mole Man's solid, and that's why I got him at number 7. Then number 6, I got the Puppet Master. The Puppet Master, he's really cool. He had an original concept. He shared a power, though, with an Iron Man villain from around the same time, and I think the Iron Man villain came just a little ways after. The Iron Man villain was like the Doll Man or the Doll something. It's been a minute since I read that issue of Tales of Suspense, but it was the first issue of Tales of Suspense where Iron Man got to wear the like red and gold armor we know him for, and he broke out the armor for that reason, to beat that villain. I don't remember what he was called, but he had the exact same power as the Puppet Master. But the Puppet Master was handled a lot better, and I really liked the Puppet Master a lot. And he gave us Alicia Masters, which has been, Ben Grimm's girlfriend for like 50 years, and she's a great character. I love the Puppet Master as a villain. He's really cool, and he's iconic. He's got a really cool design. Like, I know he's just like a smiling bald guy, but like he's really cool. I love the Puppet Master as a villain. Then at number 5, I have the Red Ghost. The Red Ghost is a really cool villain. He's around the time I know there was a lot of like Russian villains and like Chinese villains and stuff that were supposed to be like part of the whole like the thing, and he fell under that. But he was pretty cool. He was a really cool villain. I really liked the apes. I think the apes are really what sell it. Like, his power's really cool that he can like phase through stuff, but I also just really love his apes. I think the idea of making the Fantastic Four, but it's a Russian guy and 3 apes is just really cool. I really like that. And I know he came back later. Like, I know I just read the issue recently. It started on Yancey Street issue, but in the first 18 issues, he was just in issue 13. And I really do like the Red Ghost. He's a cool villain. I do wish we could have seen him in the movie. I know apparently John Malkovich was going to play him in First Steps, and he got cut. And I really wish he hadn't, because that would have been cool. But number 4, we got Super Skrull. I think Super Skrull's iconic. I love Super Skrull. Getting a villain that has the powers of all 4 Fantastic Four members in one is a really cool idea. I like that. I think it's a really interesting way of kind of giving them a match. I think it's really cool. I love the Super Skrull. He's always been one of my favorites. Super Skrull's awesome. That's all I get. Super Skrull is awesome, and it was cool seeing the Skrulls again, so I do get to mention the Skrulls in this. Then number 3, I've got Namor the Submariner. Namor, I know I said I didn't use the Hulk because he was treated more as a hero, but he's kind of an anti-hero. Namor kind of falls under the same way. Namor has been a hero, he has been a villain. Namor just works of his own accord. Namor can, he's all over the board, but Namor is like an anti-hero. But back then, in the early 60s, Namor was treated primarily as a villain, and he was in a few issues. His first appearance, first modern day appearance, or modern day to back then anyway, was Fantastic Four number 4. But in those first 18 issues, he did in number 5 team up with Dr. Doom. He was in, I believe it was number 9. He was in, I think he was in like number 14 or so. Namor contended with him a lot. If you've read a lot of that, there was the love triangle with Namor, Sue, and Reed was really, 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 really done back then. They hit that plot point a lot. But I love Namor. I've always loved Namor. He's a really cool character. I like how he's a villain, but he can be a good guy. But it's all because Namor is not doing anything for anybody but himself. And that just kind of puts him all over the board. And I really like seeing him contend. Like, even outside of the Fantastic Four around this time, there was an issue of the X-Men where Magneto tried to recruit him to the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And I thought that was really cool as well. I do love Namor as a villain. Then number 2 may be a little surprising. Number 2 is one of my favorite Marvel villains. Number 2 is the Impossible Man, which he made his debut there in And I love the Impossible Man because he's another one. The Impossible Man is not really a villain. He's kind of like Marvel's answer to Mr. Mxyzptlk from Superman and all. The Impossible Man is just kind of there, and he's just like a kind of childish alien that just comes over to Earth and is just kind of on vacation, but he's really, really super strong, and he's kind of an asshole. So I really like that a lot about him, and I think he's cool. And I especially love like watching the Thing try to fight him, because like he's just this tiny little guy, but he can do anything. So I think that's really cool, and I've always loved the Impossible Man. I think he's really cool. I would love to see him in a movie one day. That would be really cool. Love the Impossible Man. And then number 1, I don't think to the surprise of anyone, would be Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom is one of my all-time favorite comic book villains. Dr. Doom is just the epitome of, he's the classic bad guy. He is the bad guy. Like when I think supervillain, I immediately go to Dr. Doom. Because he's wanting classic, like, wants to take over the world, you know, and he's super smart, and he's like, he doesn't really have powers. Like, I know he has had powers, but at the beginning, he was just really smart and had a lot of tech and stuff. You know, his first appearance was in Fantastic Four number 5. Yeah, in number 5, yeah. And he sent, like, Ben and Reed and Johnny back in time to go get, like, Blackbeard, he went sent him back to get the Blackbeard's treasure, and turns out the Thing is Blackbeard, and his first appearance, he wasn't as cool as he would be later, but like later in those 18 issues, and I'm kind of ranking these villains as they were in the first 18 issues. You did see him do a lot more cool stuff. You got the issue where he switched minds with Reed Richards, which is just a classic story. You had the issue where he shrunk the Fantastic Four. You know, just a lot of really cool stuff with Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom, like I said, he's one of my favorite comic book villains of all time, and when I think supervillain, Dr. Doom is like the epitome of supervillain to me. I immediately go to Dr. Doom when I think of supervillain. But, yeah, that's my ranking for the first 10 villains that the Fantastic Four ever fought, as how I think they are. Top 10 there. I think that was pretty cool. Other thing I forgot to mention was I didn't use any villains from Strange Tales, because I know Strange Tales had the Human Torch feature running at the same time, and I know they had like the Wizard and Paste Pot Pete and the Asbestos Man and, you know, all that, but I feel like Human Torch villains and Fantastic Four villains would kind of go in two separate categories, even though Human Torch is one of the Fantastic Four. But other than that, yeah, I enjoyed doing that ranking, and I hope y'all enjoyed listening to it. Bye.
I did enjoy that. Thank you, Adam.
Hell yeah. Real quick, I looked up because I was curious about the Miracle Man that you talked about, where you said he first appeared in the Fantastic Four number 3. Well, apparently, according to Wikipedia, he did not appear again until Fantastic Four 138 and 139 in 1973 was his next appearance. So they kept him gone for quite a while. At least 12 years they kept him gone, you know, so.
Well, that's a really good list.
That's a very good list. Yeah, hell yeah.
Because, like, my experience with Fantastic Four as the team was, like, 2005 era. Like, I got into them a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, but I got more into Dr. Doom. Like, when he was, what was that big storyline that he did where all the villains had a section of the apocalypse type thing?
Was it Secret Wars? No. Well, he was...
he was more modern than that.
Oh, God.
Wasn't Battle World, but...
It was something like that,
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah. Or, wait, didn't... World War Hulk, didn't... Wasn't he in that as well?
He might have been.
Damn,
God, I can't remember now.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've read either one of those.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
Anyway, that was my favorite story with him, because he was just an asshole.
Yeah, again, like I said, I've never read any Fantastic Four comics except for this is my first time. My introduction to Fantastic Four, we already got into our histories.
Yeah,
was the 90s cartoon that they had done. Because, at the time, Marvel was pumping out cartoons like crazy in the 90s.
Yes.
Spider-Man, X-Men, Incredible Hulk had one, Iron Man had one, Fantastic Four had one. I think even Silver Surfer had one at one point. So I remember that was my first introduction to the Fantastic Four, was the 90s cartoon. As far as comic books goes, I collected, I think it was Secret Wars 2 several years ago that they did. And I think that was the first time I actually had read them in comics, unless they popped up in something else that I read that I don't remember. As far as Dr. Doom goes, I remember one of my first times ever seeing him was in an episode of, I think it was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I think he might have been in an episode of that back in the 80s. So that might have been my first experience with Dr. Doom. I love the Chris Evans movies, those two films. I love those movies. I think they're pretty good films from somebody that doesn't really know anything about the Fantastic Four.
Right, yeah.
The third one that they did was kind of the Ultimate Universe version, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really care for that one. I didn't think that one was that good. I still need to watch the 1994 movie that was never released by Roger Corman. I hear it's goofy but fun, actually. And I don't know where you can find it at. You might be able to find Rip somewhere online. I don't know. And then eventually I'll watch this new movie when it comes out. I don't know. I guess from what little bit of exposure I've had to him, I guess I kind of like Johnny out of the four of them. Cause he's just kind of does what he wants in a way. He's the younger, he reminds me, take a Transformers reference, kind of reminds me of Hot Rod in a way. It's kind of he kind of wants to do what he wants, kind of rebels a little bit, but yet in the end he does come back and do the right thing, helps the team out, knows what he should do, save the world, save the human race and stuff like that, from enemies. So I like Johnny. Thing's fun too, though. Thing is the fun, but I guess if I had to pick between my two strong guys, I'd have to go with the Hulk over Thing. And I know there was a time where they kind of feuded a little bit. I think there was several comic book stories where they feuded or whatever. Thing might have beat him. I don't remember. I think if I have to go through my two big boys like that, I always think I'll have to lean toward the Hulk a little bit more than the Thing.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that.
They're both tragic characters. Mm-hmm. Bruce Banner with the becoming the Hulk when he's angry. Ben, unfortunately, unlike Bruce, cannot. Which I think it has happened a couple of times in the comics, maybe, but he can't change back. He's kind of stuck as the Thing. But I think there's a moment or two that he might have changed back once or twice, maybe. Other than the films.
I will say in the films, I thought the Julian, what's his name? The guy that played Dr. Doom.
Oh, Julian McMahon.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately we lost earlier this year. I think he passed away, yeah.
He was in Charmed and he was in, Nip Tuck?
Nip Tuck's where I actually was one of the first times I actually ever saw him as an actor besides those Fantastic Four films.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I never was into Charmed. I know he was on there, but I never actually watched the show.
Well, as I've been married for 2 decades, she made me watch it.
But he's a great actor.
He is, yeah.
And
he made that show.
A villain is where he's at. He's got a good emotional range, but I think a villain is where he was the best actor at, I think.
Yeah,
for sure.
He was great, Dr. Doom.
He was. His Dr. Doom was amazing.
Hey horror friends, welcome to Tomb of Terrors. I'm Old Man Brad, your guide into darkness. Here, every episode is a journey into horror. I'm digging up the latest releases, having conversations with the filmmakers who bring these nightmares to life, or sometimes dragging in my friends to explore cult classics, like Bruno Mattei's Cruel Jaws. There's something spine-tingling around every corner. So whether you love a bloody Italian slasher, a chilling ghost story, or those hidden treasures scattered throughout Tubi, this tomb has something for every horror fan. Just dim the lights, cozy up in a blanket, and step inside.
if you dare. So, yeah, I think that'll do it for this episode.
All right, Dan, what we reading?
Well, I've been scouring around my collection and just looking around online, kind of what we want to do. And I want to do a character that we have yet to ever do, and another one I've actually never read, but know a little tad about. Dr. Fate. I want to cover Dr. Fate.
Sweet.
Boy, it's a little confusing of a character in a way too. His first appearance was in 1940, More Fun Comics number 55.
Okay.
But we're not going to read that one.
Okay.
I want to read More Fun Comics number 67, which was his origin story.
Sweet.
So yeah, they waited 12 issues to give him an origin story.
I mean, I do want to point out this Fantastic Four. I like how they started out with them in action and then going back to the origin.
Yeah,
so,
that was really cool. It's like previously, it's like let's turn the clock back. You know, it's like how some movies do. Some movies will throw you into something, and then they're like 3 years before, you know, or 6 months before, or whatever. You know,
if it's done right, it's a fun like mystery.
It is, thing. And that was done right in Fantastic Four. Yeah. I think they did it right. So yeah, I want to do More Fun Comics number 67.
Cool.
From 1941. It's Dr. Fate's origin story. Unfortunately, they didn't reprint this, so me and Sean's going to have to find this booger online. Because if you want a physical copy, you're going to be paying some Fantastic Four numbers. It's going to be thousands of dollars because they have not reprinted any of the, at least not Dr. Fate stuff. They may have reprinted some More Fun Comics, but not Dr. Fate stuff that I know of.
That's crazy. You think they would put out like a paperback or something?
Yeah, the only thing that I know, I think just dropped that I saw a big collection was his 1980s stuff. He'd had a 4-issue miniseries, I think it was in 87, and then he had like a 40 or 41 issue ongoing series after Crisis on Infinite Earths. That they've collected that, most of that.
He was a big part of that. We'll talk about that next episode.
They collected most of that series, but as far as like pre-Crisis stuff, I got 3 issues of a book called The Immortal Dr. Fate, and all 3 of those are they reprint stories from Dr. Fate from different eras. And one of them does have a reprint of More Fun Comics number 56, which would be his second appearance. But again, I wanted to try to cover his origin story. And a fun fact, no. I'll fun fact it on the episode about Dr. Fate. I don't want to ruin it.
Awesome.
So
surprise.
Surprise. So on our next episode, we'll be covering More Fun Comics number 67, the origin of Dr. Fate. But before that, and before we step away, if you want to find us and reach out to us, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We have a YouTube channel where our audio podcasts are on there. Our toy review videos are on there as well. We have a Discord that's free. Get on there and talk about all kinds of stuff, wrestling and video games and Sean's taco obsession and comic books and all kinds of stuff. We also have an email, Sean, if you want to reach out to us.
Yes, geekswithbeardspod@gmail.com. Send me emails, audio submissions, or even a video submission. I can just rip the audio. So
just like Autumn has done for us these past few episodes, if you want to send us some fun facts about the comic we're covering or any comic that you like.
Yeah, anything we've covered before, any comic in general.
Yeah, feel free to do that, and we'll do just like with Autumn. We'll play it during the episode. And any other podcasts out there that want to send us trailers for your show, we are more than happy to promote your shows. The same as if you want ours, just contact Sean through the podcast email, and we'll send, or Sean will send us our trailer to you. We're all about trying to promote each other and help each other out and help get them numbers up if we can at all.
Just one big happy family.
Damn right, it's a good big old happy family. That's right. So yeah, for this episode of Fantastic Four number 1 from 1961, that will be it. I'm Dan, and that was Sean, and we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Goodbye.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's
Geeks with Beards. Podcast.